Hey there, thanks for dropping by for this quick and dirty instructional video on how to archive mail from your Google Apps account down to a local folder in Apple Mail. So we're going to first look at your Formium account. If you have more than one account in Apple Mail, you'll have to hit the reveal triangle. You'll select the account that is going to be archived, and you will click the control button on your keyboard, control key on your keyboard, and click. We're going to get account info. You're going to open that up and it will measure all the mailboxes up on the server. Our target here is not message quantity, but actually message size. So we're looking for the largest mailbox going down from there. For some of you, that's going to run into gigabytes. For some of you, it's only going to be your sent and inbox that are large. But if you have other mailboxes you've been storing stuff in, you might have to cull those down as well. In terms of specific targets, we're looking to get you below 10 gigabytes ideally. And if you can go further than that, all the better. So once you do this sizing, it will take a while for it to fully read everything up on the server. You can either minimize this or you can close it. At this point, we are going to assume that we're working with a sent mailbox. I would recommend that you start with the older emails first and that you file them based on years. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. The oldest I have is 2012. So what I'm going to do at this point is create a new local mailbox on my Mac by clicking the plus down here in the left-hand corner and selecting a new mailbox. That's going to bring up this window. I want to make sure that I actually select on my Mac as the destination, and then I'm going to name this 2012 sent because that's what I'm planning on moving over. I click OK, and then I go over here and click Show to reveal the mailbox that I created, which is right here. I'm going to drag it to the top to make it a little easier to work with. At this point, I'm going to go back to my sent folder. It's still down here at the oldest one. I strongly recommend that you move a little cautiously when you're moving data down from a server. It can cause your machine to get pretty slow, and you want to be careful not to throw too much at it until you get an idea how well your machine's going to handle it. So I'd recommend moving maybe a month at a time initially until you see how well it performs. At that point, you can kick it up to 2 months, maybe 3 months, and see how it works from there. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the last day in July. I do recommend that you pay attention to the date because if something goes wrong in the transfer down, we want to be able to know that it was a certain date range. And we can, at that point, try to cherry pick from the server to decide, what's been missed and what hasn't been missed. So I'm going to hold the shift key down here to select a range of emails and click on that top one. So I got this whole range here. It's important not to click anywhere else in this area because it will uncheck all of those. So make sure that you, again, select the one that you want. I was very busy in July, evidently. Right here, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down and going to shift click. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and hold, and you'll notice as I start dragging this over, there's a little red circle. That's telling me how many emails I'm actually moving. You should be attentive to that because we want to get a feel for, we want to know how many you're bringing down so that we can double check against what actually copies into the folder. So I'm going to move that over to 2012 sent. I'm going to let go. Those are now moved down, and as you can see, it's still taking a little while for these to copy up. Let's see, we've got 332. I'm going to click back on my sent folder, click over here, and now notice 475. So this illustrates the point that it may take a little bit for those messages to come down, and that's why you want to know how many was I bringing down so that you can authenticate that. So that is largely it. Just repeat ad nauseum until you have reduced the amount of gigabytes, megabytes you have up on the server. I'm going to go over this really quick one more time. We're going to go to the account. We're going to control click. We're going to get info. We're going to see how big the biggest one is. We're going to go to the sent or whichever folder it is you're working with. We're going to select a range. We're going to drag it over to the folder that we've created. So it is recommended that you do maybe year after year when it comes to the sent, unless you know that it's a small amount. Try not to put more than about 5,000 emails in any one mailbox. And that's pretty much the last thing that I'll leave you with. So I hope this is helpful for you, and feel free to reach out via phone or email if you have any questions.